down from the mountain, gonna practice my reading, woman. I'm gonna come down from the mountain, gonna get me a library card. 'Cause I'm a mountain man. I'm a mountain man. I'm a mountain man. Lord knows that I am. I'm a mountain man. I'm a mountain man. I'm a mountain man. Lord knows I am. Gonna come down from the mountain, gonna beat you at Scrabble, woman. Gonna come down from the mountain, gonna read the dictionary. Cause I'm a mountain man. I'm a mountain man. I'm a mountain man. Lord knows that I am. I'm a mountain man. I'm a mountain, I'm a man. I'm a mountain man. Lord knows I am.
G'day guys, welcome to the Northern Footy Show. We're back, Bonners, for another big week of footy. We've brought in a special guest. I can't believe you've got two friends, but we found another. Paul Harris, thanks for coming on the show. Banyule coach going to have a bit of a chat to us about how his season's going and what's happening in the footy. But Bonners, a couple of things before we get there.
Yep.
Last week was a massive week of football. I know that you were unavailable for the Sunday wrap because your mum told you weren't allowed to play last Sunday. But
it's actually the wife, so you can blame
it was the wife. But you've been speaking to me the last couple of weeks about how you see it all shaping the Final Four. What's changed over the last week or two from what you've been telling me where you see the finals heading?
Well, it depends when you look at it. I reckon the Divi 3 is probably the most interesting because I know we've had old collegians almost just outside, but they just keep pushing their case to go forward. Beating some quality football teams on the weekend. Divi 2 was a big upset. I know I'm big on St Mary's. I know with Plunks and Trev down there have done a great job knocking off pretty much one of the two favourites, I reckon, South Morang.
Yep.
And then Divi 1, you've got, Hurstbridge knocking over Montmorency. So I feel like clubs are just making us look stupid, which we don't really need a lot of help doing. But every week they tend to, hang on a second. I know a couple of your tips haven't gone to thing, but I just find it probably one of the best years of all three divisions. It's just shaping up awesome.
During the week, we ran a poll, Paul, about if the grand final was played this weekend, who wins it. Heidelberg were a clear favourite, I think, with about 68% of the poll, and you can rightly understand that. But you get down to Division 2, there's a lot more even. Yes, Diamond Creek's favourite, but then you've got South Morang can win it, St Mary's can win it. And it gets deeper than that. You head down to Division 3, and I had to put 7 or 8 sides in there because actually I think just about any of those could win it. How do you separate? Fitzroy Stars came in as red hot favourite to win it on the poll, but how do you dismiss Old Eltham? I put up the other day.
That's what I said to you just before.
Old Eltham, realistically, for me, are equal premiership favourites. They haven't dropped a game. They've beaten Moondah, the big dogs. They've beaten Ivanhoe, the big dogs. You gotta ask where are they, and then you have a look at sides like we were just speaking before we started the show. Banyule, we tipped them to finish third in the year, but I did. But where'd you have them, Bonners?
No,
if you say one because your mate's here, I'm going to throw a pen at you.
Vinny would kill me if I said one.
I'm scared of him.
But after seeing the first game, I think I was pretty big on him straight away, and I've been pretty big on him since.
I know you've been down and seen him a few times. So I think it couldn't be more even. From a league perspective, I cannot think of a tighter season in my life of football in a local football competition. What's your take on that, Paul? Are you finding everyone could beat you on the day? Is that how you're going to go into a game these days?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we're second year in, so we've always thought that anyone can beat us on any week. So we're there to compete. And even past years, you have a look at that 5th spot generally is 9 wins. So and second us and West Preston finished last year second, 8th and 9th with 5 wins. So last year was even. This year probably early doors looks like it's even tighter again.
I think that I think where we're heading is, in my honest opinion, is if the Grannies played this week, Heidelberg would have to go in red hot favourite at $1.10. But I think everybody else is really hovering still around that $1.30 mark. There's amazing value there. Montmorency can win it on their day. You guys can win it on the day. Greensborough can win it on their day. Hurstbridge have come, you know, and I said Hurstbridge would finish, you know, in that top 4 this year would be a great goal for them.
You missed that as well.
North Heidelberg, and they're playing at the Kennel this week. You always pen them in for a victory at the Kennel, but I know you mentioned off air that that I'm a better man than Bonners, but more importantly, Vinny hasn't played a game at home.
Yeah,
Heidelberg hasn't played a game at home yet. They've got 5 away wins.
Yeah,
like holy moly. Like, you know, they're a decent unit, but injuries start to creep in now. You start to hear a lot about player soreness and everything. Anyway, it is what it is. Tell me how you guys are tracking. How are you going down at the club? What are you happy about? Who's surprising you? Give us a wrap up.
Obviously, with the start we've had, we're really happy with the win-loss ratio. As far as fitness goes, we're going really well at the moment. We brought in, the club invested over the summer in some high performance staff, and they've been brilliant. And the guys have really they've loved that. So over the last few years, the professionalism of the guys during the week has gone through the roof to their rehabs, but now they've got someone on board throughout the week to sort of let them know what they're doing. So even our injured guys have got a sort of return to play program, which we haven't really done in the past.
Okay.
And as a result, we're sort of hoping, and we've seen so far, that we're not getting repeat injuries of the same sort. So
I'd have to send you down to Carlton. We've got some hamstring problems.
Mate, Brisbane ain't going any better, mate. Just take the ACL.
I think we're a bit stiff with the ACL. But yeah, so that part of it's been really, really good. And I think overall, just the overall team has improved. I think a lot of the guys have seen improved considerably on having last year and knowing what's required each week, and then sort of going to work on that during the summer and coming back prepared, I guess, and ready to play. And then the new guys that have come in have obviously had an impact. Most of them have been able to play so far, and they've had an impact for us, which has been great, and they've sort of gelled into the group really well. So that's made things go really well.
Which is one thing that we talk about. We speak about the last year is that you're recruiting, and I don't want to double bloke in, but there's a certain person who thinks that he's bringing the right people in to make you look better. I don't want to dob in Adam McBrien, but I might be paraphrasing what he says.
He's already here, guys. I'm not sure what he's laughing at, but it must be you guys. It can't be me. Yeah.
But it basically, that's the part that I've always found for when you're going up a division, you've got to get that balance. And as you said before, you've got to be in there long enough to get used to the type of football there is. But you always have to bring those blokes in that'll just give you that next level. And I reckon the ones you've brought in have been, amazing. They've just given you that extra, the class around the ball, big guys to kick the footy to, distributors, which are all part of the footy game. So I reckon that's a big part of what the growth would be too.
Yeah, and Macca and he's one of the footy managers, and Rory Brocker was one of their other footy managers. They've done a great job. We targeted areas that we wanted to improve on from last year. We were lucky in a few of those. Like, it's sort of not bring 1,000 blokes, sort of try and target the right people, and then you get lucky with a few as well. So, and we've got lucky with a few, sort of like a Dan Owen coming late to us, which was an area that we weren't overly strong in last year, and he's played a significant role for us so far.
Paul, one of the best parts of my job here is that I get to read the comments before you guys, and I don't know what some of them mean, but Sammy's pretty much told us it's taken a fair while to get you on, but do they know Harrow is sitting in between them? I think we took a bit long, Bonners, to introduce him.
Settle down, Sab. Settle down, mate. We know he's here.
We'll get there. It's all about him for the first half an hour, and then the remainder is about Bonners. Yes, took them a while to get the special guest in. How much cash have you given Sabby today, mate? 2 comments, 2 minutes. It's all about you. And Brent Richardson.
I was going to wonder if all the boys...
Is that the little man who water skis in Speedos? Tell me this isn't true, mate. Because they could come up pretty easy, Paul.
Yeah, no. So I used to have some issues getting out of the water, and I felt as if the shorts were dragging down too much. So I went the speedo, so it was more performance versus.
I
anything
promise
else.
you will not get through this season without someone over the fence going, "Where's your speedo?"
Or photo popping up, so you better be careful.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. One of my questions for you is: football has become so much more nearly full time for a coach, especially in Division One now. How much of your week does footy take up now in hours?
Hard to say because you think about it a lot as well. As far as not just sort of looking at so after the match, we'd look at us, and then we sort of later in the week we'd look at the upcoming opposition, and it made it a lot easier now that all the clubs are on, and we're obviously on it as well. The Premier Data,
It's amazing.
Yeah, so that's sort of a cheat sheet for you that you can sort of get the things a bit quicker. And we've done the last quarter. What have we done now? This is our 5th year where we've co-coached. So Rick and myself. So that makes it a lot easier as well. In that, on the off chance you're caught at work or whatever,
Someone can pick up.
and you're not stressed. You're on the same, and we speak every day. So that's a bit easier. But yeah, you're right. It does take a lot of your week, and it's probably the part that takes the most is you're thinking about things as well constantly. So
sorry, just before you jump in, Matty, how many times do you wake up a week during the night and it's a footy
Thinking about
thought?
a play.
It would probably most times I'd wake up, I'd think about
footy.
Think about footy. So that just happens. You can't help it. But but you sort of you sort of do it because you love it, and it's a bit of a passion, and you become a little bit obsessive with it at times. But we all do it for that reason. Yeah,
it's been part of me for people who know. I've known Harry for about 30 odd years. So
we'll just stop you there for 1 minute, Bonners.
Oh, who's mouthing off now?
No, this is better.
Yeah, that's actually 32 years ago. That was the underage or the under 12s schoolboys footy team.
Yes, so you had a lot to say about this week on Facebook.
I know. But it was a long time ago, back when, as you noticed, my nose might not be as big back then, but
your ears had
someone
your nose
had hair
covered.
and someone doesn't now.
I was going to say, and I'm tall and I've got hair. It's fair to say it all went pear-shaped.
Someone asked me if you shrunk the other day on Facebook. Said, "Gee, you shrunk a lot."
Yeah, no, you'd be shocked how many times I've been asked that in the last since that photo went up. So.
But
Sorry,
it has been a passion for you for many years. I mean, we know our parade years.
Yep.
He played at Ivanhoe for so many years, and Pete Rawley speaks highly of it. All the people that have been involved with footy, you've taught them a lot, which is good because all you taught me young is how to lose a backyard sport. So it's good that it actually passed on some positive influences to everyone else. But I have been asked by a certain person, do you model it on Tony McKay, or have you changed it a little bit over the years? Are you still learning, I guess, as a coach?
Yeah, definitely. I was actually watching the first 18 today, and Rick coaches the first 18 at Parade. And,
did you really?
Yeah, so his quarter time address is probably slightly different to what tones were back in our day.
Was it English?
At school footy, yeah. And I think the language you use these days with different rules that are in place are obviously a little bit different. So, but definitely learning, and you sort of, it's become, and as I said before, that with all the information that you get provided, that it's become so much more professional than what it was. My first year of coaching was.
You can pick at it a little bit more now.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, my first year of coaching was back at Ivanhoe, where there's no footage, and you're sort of sending someone else to watch the opposition for the next week, going off their notes, and then going off a little bit of memory and in the ammos, because the other teams are so far away, you don't know any of them, so it's a little bit harder. Where you get to Saturdays now and you feel as if you know all the opposition because you've watched them so much.
I must admit, one thing I'm enjoying about Sundays, the games seem to get up on the NFNL page really quickly,
which is good.
And I can sit down on a Sunday, especially before the Sunday wrap up, watch certain quarters. I follow the games avidly on the app, on like Player HQ or whatever it's called, and watch the games. And if it's a very close game like it was at Lorimer the other day, I was following that avidly because of Jimmy, and I ended up getting on the phone to a mate of mine at Lorimer and go, "What is going on here?" And he's like, "This is coming down to the wire." And then you heard the crowd erupt. And then so I go back and watch those bits of the game. But from a coach's perspective, what's it called? The stats, the Premier Data, the stuff I'm seeing that Premier Data are producing that a coach could use on a specific player. If you were, if Luke Collins was toweling you up every week, don't bash me, Luke. If Luke Collins is a superstar, but if Luke Collins was touching you up every week, and you just and Bonners was going to play on Luke this week, how good is it to have the data to say
Too many
Bonner's
clearances.
studying?
Yeah.
This is local
Yeah.
football.
Yeah.
You know, it's come so far from when we all played footy.
Mm.
It's very different to have that available to you as a coach. I'm not sure whether it's a curse sometimes or a benefit because you can read so much further in there, can't you?
Yeah, you can, but I think probably the players have changed a little bit too. They wanted a lot of information as well. So sort of back, 10 years ago when that data wasn't there, you sort of just turned up and played. And went from memory from last time you played a certain person. So I think it's just moved with it and moved with the times, and the players sort of eat that information up.
I would have never got a game because I told everybody, Bonners, I had 26 touches. I reckon I had 4.
Unfortunately, there's nowhere to hide now because it's there.
It's in front of you.
The best part, I'm happy that they don't, is the GPS back in my day, because I wasn't running up and down the field. I'll just sit back. I'll just cover back there. I might have got 6 Ks, I think. So I think they're doing on average 8 or 9. On balls are doing about 12, 13 Ks now. So
it's insane.
But even the standard of football now, like I've been to a few games this year, from 3rd division all the way to 1st division, it's just got so much quicker. And back in our day, there was a lot of chipping, go long, just hit the forward line and then you had your crummers. Now it's chip, bang, find the bloke you need to give it to. And then you've got these massive forwards now. I mean, they're just huge. I walked up to a lot of the quarter time addresses, and I used to play centre half back now and again. I'd be lucky to be a back pocket. Some of these blocks are massive now. So, but the game's just gone out of sight. Local footy now, especially the Northern Footy League, the standard is just amazing.
I'm pretty impressed with it. We're going to go to a very quick commercial because without our sponsors, we're nothing here. Quick message from LJL Cabinets, and we'll be back to talk Division 3. You're going to put in your tip
and how far.
And how far. We'll get it in.
Can't be 4,000 though.
Back in.
At the Northern Footy Show, we are proud to announce LJL Custom Cabinets as our partner in sponsoring the Top Gun Goal Kicking Challenge. Rick and his team at LJL Custom Cabinets are the #1 choice for kitchens, cabinets and all custom work. Support the local businesses that are supporting grassroots footy. Contact Rick today.
Yeah, I know.
All right, guys, welcome back. We're going to jump straight into Division 3. We'll come back to Paul a bit more in between each one. But so, Paul, you're going to pick a winner and a points margin. It's Division 3. You won't play against them this year. No one can hate you too much. And we expect a fair tip when we come up against you this week, like who it is. But Epping versus Fitzroy Stars at Epping this week. I think this could be a cracking game. Juddy's still out injured, which is a fair big loss for these guys. But Epping just continue to fight, and they don't want to stay in Div 3. So for mine, I think Fitzroy Stars get this done by 14 points. But what do you think, Paul?
Epping at home, 3 goals.
Epping at home, 18 points.
Fitzroy Stars by about 5 goals, I reckon.
Righto, so there's these guys don't get along. This show's a lot more brains over this side. But
whatever he says, I'm just going out.
While we're reading through this, if you've got any questions for Paul, except for his game plan, feel free to send them in. Heidelberg West versus Kilmore at Heidelberg West. This is a tough one for me. And at Heidelberg West, they're just too hard to beat. 7 points, Heidelberg West at home.
Heidelberg West 2, 4 goals.
Yeah, I'm about the same, 3 goals, I reckon, Heidelberg West. And they don't like it when we choose against them. So
no, I know. Yeah, they
sure
get a bit
home at least.
Don't they? Ivanhoe, we're just speaking about Ivanhoe versus Laylaw. For me, I'm really impressed with what Laylaw's doing this year. I'm really impressed how long they're in the game for. Such a great growth down there for the boys, and they're getting great game time experience. But I think I'm even being kind saying Ivanhoe by 34 points. I think it could blow out a lot more than that. I just hope Laylaw's just creeping a little bit more each week.
I agree. Laylaw have done a great job to be competitive, and they've got their 2 wins, I think they've already got on the board. Yeah, great by them. But I think the Hoes at home by 50.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I had a chat. I think we spoke to Schultzy last week about I still can't see them kicking the big scores yet. So I still think they'll win by about 5 goals. But for me, the big question is, are they going to be able to kick? They've got a great defensive game.
Yeah.
But I still think they've kicked over 70, I think, once this year. So it's still the question mark. When you're going into finals, you want to have the 80, 90, 100 points. So I'm still got question marks. I still think they'll win, but probably only about 4 or 5 goals.
I hear this a lot now in AFL. You've got to kick 100 points to win. If you kick 100 points to win, you're going to win 97
first two 100 wins.
Yeah, first 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, who's beating you to 100 points that often these days?
I think it's a pretty quick game now. Yeah. So it's kicking them more often than not.
I'm not sure how many games Ash Close has played, though, in during the day and not in greasy conditions. So
Right,
that might, if you get, that might help you. That might help him get to 100 pretty quickly.
Well, let's say I'd be nothing. I'd be very happy for Schulte, who's an absolute superstar.
Yep.
Gives us his time, no dramas. And if we don't give a shout out to Pete Rawley, he texts me and says,
gets up.
please mention me, mate, because it's all about me.
Yeah.
It's true, actually. It's true.
I love him. He's a ripper guy. I'm just taking the mickey. Kinglake take on Old Paradians. Kinglake at home really never lost the game for a long time. They're really struggling to get off the mark. I do think they're a better side at home.
Is
But
Sam Gill back, or is he still out?
no, he's back. He played last
yeah.
week, and they played last week. I've got Old Paradians by 12 away. We'll have to take into consideration some permafrost up there. A couple of kangaroos
Might be at me
jumping
3/4.
across early. But I'm going to go Old Paradians by 12 points. I think Kinglake's going to throw everything at this to make a statement.
Yeah, I think BT's boys parade 5 goals.
Yep.
Yeah. Around the same mark, 5-6 goals.
And the last one, Reservoir versus Premiership favourite equals Old Eltham. I've got Old Eltham by 61. Reservoir's learning. They're finding their feet, but they're just not the same cattle as Old Eltham.
Yeah, at Reservoir, though, like Laylaw, have really improved. They obviously haven't got their win yet, but it looks like it's not too far away.
I
but
think it can happen.
Don't think it'll be this week, but they've improved significantly. So, but I'd still take the Turtles. It's 10 goals.
Yep.
Yeah, I reckon they've only, think, one real convincing game, Old Eltham, at the moment. They seem to come back in the last quarter, but I think about 8-9 goals they'll win by.
Yep. Well, I
tend to conditions are always going to be down King Lake. It's just a different game. You know, you've got your Frost, you've got your Dew and everything like that. So
I expected more out of Kinglake this year. Like, without having a crack, I actually had them in my top 4, and they're probably the side that's maybe disappointed the most from that top end that you would have thought would be there. Maybe they just haven't been able to get everyone on the park.
maybe just put the mods on everyone else.
Maybe I've just put the mods on everyone else.
Hey,
if I tip against you, you've never been a better chance. And then I generally get abused after it. I'll do an Olivia Antonello, but that'll be the end of Division 3. See you later. Yeah, Paul, tell me you come up against Eltham this week. We're going to get to Div 1 shortly, but you come up against Eltham. How do you change your preparation each week? If you're coming up against Montmorency or Eltham, does the preparation change? And I don't mean you take it easier. How different is it coming up against each side this week? Is it a total different game plan, or?
No, not really. We stick to our game plan. So we work on some things we think we need to work on Tuesday nights. We work on things that we think we need to work on from the Saturday. Again, and then the Thursday nights, it's a lighter night, a bit of touch, and then we'd go in and do our review of the opposition. So that part wouldn't change. Obviously, there might be some positional changes, some roles, depending on strengths and weaknesses of whoever we're playing. But in regards to the preparation, no, there'd be no change there.
How do you prepare for this, Paul? I want to put this up on the screen when I can find it. You've spoke to your boys. You've said, "Give me your best. I'm committed. I believe in you. I'm here through good and bad." And then this scoreline comes up. I don't know why it's not coming up. There it is. This is in the South Australian, one of the South Australian League. Fitzroy kicked 82-24, 516 to Elizabeth 0. What could be your message? So you're the coach of Elizabeth for 1 minute. What is your message to the boys after the game?
I love you boys, but I'm out.
I quit. Bonners, now you're the coach of Fitzroy.
I'm 6 pots done. I'm already 6 pots done. I don't need to say anything.
I'm all for every community needs footy, but I just don't know how you come back from that. Is it a situation where the league says we need to help you out? You're like, it's 500 points.
Yeah, it's a bit much. 100 points, I think, is enough. And some games you'll get 200, but 500, it's basically straight out of centre goal. It's just a training run.
I think there's been some reports saying the vibe's pretty good, though. No, I think I have seen.
This is why I brought it up. It was on a current affair or something the other day. They interviewed the coach.
Were they high?
And he said, "You've got to start somewhere."
Scoring wouldn't be a bad start.
By quitting.
Yeah.
That's a crazy thing.
You know that advert where the guys can't make it to the footy game, so they bring these other guys in?
Mate, I think they'll beat them. They lose.
They'd go all right.
Oh, my goodness. All right, we're going to jump straight into Division 2. Actually, before you got here, he called me. Bonner's called me and he said, "Look, don't ask Paul who was the better footballer because I don't want him to be embarrassed that he was number 2."
Absolute rubbish. But
It's just
he'll lie anyway, so don't worry about it.
surely he had some better attributes than Bonner's.
No, I didn't. It was Bonner's. I think sport-wise, I used to get him in. We used to have some,
Tennis, basketball.
I think we used to have some fierce cricket games in his backyard. But yeah, no, footy.
He's a terrible cricketer.
No, footy. He had a good career at Preston, and then obviously at Bundoora. So
I heard he was a bit on the cash, just to.
Please.
What was your coach's name down there? The famous Northern Knights coach. We spoke about him last week. Burnsy. Yeah, I heard.
Only person bigger cuffs than me.
Yeah, bit of cash for Burnsy, but all right, I'm sick of speaking about it.
But mind you, I took it all well when we lost in the backyard. I think I threw a bat every week and smashed. I actually think I smashed a bat once. I just could not beat him and all the other things. So, year older too, so he picked on the young bloke. And you can see the height difference.
I'll ask you for the real answer after we get off. All right, let's move into Division 2 because Division 2 is heating up, something chronic as well, with St Mary's getting the big win last week. Watsy versus Tomo at Watsonia. This is not a walk in the park. I've got Tomo by 7. Tomo's gone down again last weekend. It's tough. This is getting tough. This level of Division 2 is getting hard. So I've got Tomo by 7 against Watsy, but it's going to be close.
Yeah, Tomo by 3 goals.
3 goals.
I don't know. I reckon they like Binat Park, so I reckon they just rise a bit since they've gone from. They went from AK Lions, I think, didn't they? Straight to Binac.
Yep,
they love being back at Binac, and the ground's great. We grew up playing there, so.
You reckon George is going to get the biscuits this week?
Yeah, I reckon he will. So I reckon he'll get probably just within a goal, but I still think he'll get over the line.
George will be happy. We might be able to get him on the show again. Yeah, he might come back on with that. South Morang versus Whittlesea. This is going to be a cracker of a game. I'm going to throw it out here, but I've got Whittlesea by 2 points at South Morang.
South Morang got beat last week, didn't they?
They did by a point. By a point, St
Mary's.
And that was a big win. That to me, that's what's absolutely shaking the crap out of Division 2 because everyone's beatable. Watsy were very competitive with Dymo for the majority. Yeah. I mean, they started poorly and came good. It wasn't a walk in the park. But I don't know. South Morang at home's hard to beat, but so I'll go Whittlesea by 2. What do you think, Paul?
South Morang by 3 points.
Have they got their back, or are they still playing it? The big boys back from Coburg?
No. So Deacon got best on ground for Coburg in the VFL on the weekend in his second game of VFL. So you won't see him again. Josh Dintesante's playing amazing. Was best on ground the week before. You won't see him again. But this also gives other people opportunities who are screaming for their spot to the side.
Yeah, I think they'll be absolutely teaming after last week losing that game. So I reckon Southie by about 4 goals.
4 goals. All right, beautiful. We'll move on. Lower Plenty, Diamond Creek. Diamond Creek's clearly favourite. Lower Plenty's having a great season. We had on Chris Dorr the other day. I'm not sure if you watched it. Is that the best nickname in footy? Trap. His name's Trap for Trapdoor. I cannot believe that. I love it.
There's a few good ones. That should be the next thing. They have them on the show. The nicknames.
It was
local footy, the Northern Footy League. They should have the best nicknames.
We'll have to get them up. We'll do a poll on it. But I've got Diamond Creek doing it by only 17 points away at Lower Plenty. Lower's pretty strong at home, and I think they're proven to be good. This won't be a walk in the park. That's my opinion. I think Diamond Creek by 17.
Dymo, I'll say by 4 goals. It's significantly different ground to what they're used to. Lower Plenty, you could probably fit 3 Lower Plenty grounds on the Dymo ground. So, but I think that's the win.
I think we had this chat about same with like Hurstbridge, Monty, all these grounds that are a lot smaller. They're a lot harder to play your normal brand of football. So I reckon they still win by about 7 goals, but. It's a lot harder. I remember, like, you look at the size of Yulong when we played at Bundoora, and then you had to go to this ground that's this big at Monty, and it was just hard to play the same role you played. So I still think I think there's such a quality unit. Diamond Creek, Andrew Tranquilly's got them running around. So I think he's got them. Yeah, I think he's got them revving. So
you've got 7 goals. 7 goals. All right, and St Mary's take on Northcote Park now. I've got St Mary's by 28. It would be hard to be disrespectful to Northcote Park because they've been in everything. They play the best last quarter than anybody else in the comp, I reckon. But they keep coming back. They're just leaving their run a bit late. Yep. If they can get it together a bit earlier, I think they could do some damage. But for me, St Mary's just moved into those 3 that could win it for me. And I've got St Mary's by 28 points.
Yeah, I'm about the same. St Mary's by 30.
You wonder though when you've had the big game the week before. I think sometimes you have that come down from the big game before you've just been knocked off one of the top sides.
Yep.
So I reckon they win, but probably only by a couple of goals. I reckon you just have that. You can't help it as a footballer. I mean, the amount of times you beat one of the better teams the following week,
Yep.
you're just struggling to get over the line because of the emotional side of
Northcote
it.
Park's going to get one of these wins.
And
They're
that's
going to shock the
primed
living
for it.
daylights.
They're
They've
primed
been
for
so close
Yeah.
a couple of
It was
times.
good effort. Last week was really good effort by them, considering their outs too.
Oh, huge outs. I think their twos got touched up pretty solid. Good on them for putting, guys on the park. It's what it's all about.
Yeah.
If you're looking for a game of footy, absolutely get down there and support them. I copped a bit of grief this week online on social media saying, who do you barrack for? You're either Bunda or Lorimer. It's all about Jimmy Atkins. Make no mistake, I look down the barrel of the camera. I love Jimmy. All right, so I'm going Lorimer by a point
got his name
over Banyule. That's his brother, Jim Beam. I'm going Lorimer. Jimmy's going to go back-to-back wins against Panton Hill by a point at Panton Hill.
Home side for me. They're tough up there. 2 goals.
Chrissy Jordan will kill me if I Lorimer against Panton Hill, so I go Panton Hill by about 4 goals.
Okay, well, don't let me down, Jimmy. All right. I know Jimmy's dad, Mick, is over in London the other day. He sent me a message and we're having a bit of a chat online. But I'm really impressed that Lorimer has played so many of the top sides. I think you can learn a lot early in the season as that side coming up, and it helps you nearly get up to speed a little bit quicker. But Panton Hill's pretty solid as well and keep it going. All right, so that's the end of Division 2. Before we get to Division 1, very quick commercial break. Then we'll be back to talk Division 1 and a few hard questions indeed for Paul. He's not getting away with anything here today. I've got something very special I want to ask him as soon as we come back. Quick
What's
message
wrong
from
with your
Sanitaire.
aircon? Sanitaire professionally clean our air conditioners every year.
My family's always sick. Maybe it's our aircon.
I cannot believe the gunk that comes out. Sanitaire is an amazing service.
Remove harmful mold, bacteria and odours. Starting from $69, your aircon will be healthier and run more efficiently.
My husband is so happy. Even our power bills are lower.
Sanitaire's award-winning premium service comes with a 12-month nationwide mold-free guarantee. Sanitaire, it's like a flu shot for your aircon. Call now, 1-800-130-168.
All right, guys, welcome back. We have our special guest, Paul Harris, the Banyule coach, here tonight. And Paul, I'm going to ask you this. Who's the coach you don't want to come up against? Who's the coach? We've always got that yips, that one yip person that you don't want to come up against. I tell you this, I don't want to bat at cricket with Bonners ever because we just take the piss out of each other. Don't worry about the other side trying to get us out. I did run you out, but I'm telling the bowler, hates the in-swing. Who do you not want to come up against who's a current coach because he gives you the yips a little bit?
Gee, that's a tough one. Because we copped a few touch-ups last year, so it was, I do remember, actually, I'm going to get on to one of your favourites, actually. It's not this year. I remember when Jimmy Atkins was coaching Whittlesea, and we were at Bunda, and they rolled us twice in the year that we ended up getting the flag that year. And they threw a heap of blokes behind the footy, and it was just awkward. Yeah, so that was both of those times were difficult, given the difference in where the sides finished. This year we're going okay this year so far. So it's
4-1, great start.
But they all sides seem to be coached quite well. Like you have a look at some of the sides that everyone sort of tipped would fall away because they lost players and whatnot, and they might have new coaches. So you have a look at someone like West Preston that was touted as might be dropping away a little bit. They've won 2 games. They're right in the other 2 games.
Look all right.
And when you have a look at them, they're playing good footy. So with the totally different, or a lot different, and some blokes coming up from their 19. So that's a hard one because everyone prepares well now, so it's not.
I can start a rumour that you said you got Jason Heath, or Vin's got nothing. He's washed up. He's done. We can get these rumours going.
Well, fortunately, I'll refer him to this, and it's totally not true.
Most of what we say on this show isn't true.
You are a student of the footy game. You love the coaching side of it. Do you have aspirations to go any further? Do you want to? As I said, I think I said to you before. Would you love to go back to your old clubs? You've been Old Paradians, Ivanhoe. You've been a journeyman when it comes to footy, especially in the VAFA. So I know the the focus was always on Banyule, and you've had him for what 4 or 5 years now.
It's year 6 actually.
Year 6.
Wow.
But is there like that fairy tale thing? If you ever decide to finish at the end, you'd have it, or you're happy to coach wherever?
No, I'm really happy with. Like, I've had a ball so far at Banyule. It's been 6 years. It's gone really quickly. We sort of got through those COVID years where we were communicating online there for a bit, which that's 6 years now. So that's sort of, even like you look at old clubs, but that's your club. It's not like you've sort of drifted in for 2 and then go and coach somewhere else. So and I don't know, they're well looked after up in Schultzy, and he'll be there for a while. And BT's left us this year to go back to Parade and coach them. Yeah, so he's doing a great job there. So in answer to your question, no.
That's all right.
It was here, and Rick and I have been doing this for us two together for 5 years, and hopefully do it for a few more. Yeah.
Let me ask you, what's your sporting highlight? If you called time on sport today, and you just had to give it away, and the missus said we're going to buy a vineyard in France, and there's no more sport, what is your best memory of your football career?
It'd be being part of premierships.
Yeah.
So it was for a division. We won the Division 2 premiership in 2022.
Yeah.
That was a significant highlight. Given we lost in 19 and didn't get a chance in 2020, then we finished on top in 21 when it got cancelled. So the boys had to wait a long time, and a lot of those guys stuck at it to get together to finally get that reward. They had to sort of wait a little bit longer than you'd normally have to when you drop a grand final. You usually bounce back the following year and get to have another crack at it. So that was a significant highlight. And then the year we were under and winning the flag there, which was pretty extraordinary.
So Bonners is in none of your highlights. That's the main point I wanted to get in. Bonners, you don't feature, mate.
No, I think you'd let me finish. And then playing school footy, obviously, with Matt, and we had some really good times playing in the Parade side. So had some really, really strong sides and had some success during those 90s, which fortunately I was saying before, I was watching the Parade side today, and then back to winning games like we were back in the 90s, which is fantastic.
I think one thing Matty and I talk a lot about is, I didn't play footy with Matt, but we played a bit of cricket together, and we just all seem to universally know people.
Yeah.
And football's so important to, your mental health, your growth, your development. It's just part of everything. I think I wouldn't change anything about your footy. It doesn't matter whether you're the ultimate resi or the best player in the league. The friendships you make out of it make it really special, which leads me to my next point. We've just onboarded Bonners with Are You OK? So they've given us a bit of a media package, and regularly I want to put it out that, you might be getting dropped, you might be going through some problems at home, there might be, problems within the family or whatever it is, but, from a perspective, Matty and I do all this for free, and if you ever need to speak to anyone under any circumstances, you can text me or Bonners on Facebook, or if you need to speak to us, get in contact with us, we'll give you the phone number, and then we'll make sure you can speak to the right people, because there's always a way forward. There is always a way forward, and I just want to make sure everyone understands that. That's a very rare, serious bit. The bit you made about Bonners, though, I'm going to edit it out, so you'll only be able to get that live.
Question for you too: how do the kids go with the footy? Do they come down and watch? Are they trying to get involved in it? How's Bianca feel about the whole footy situation?
Yeah, no, we're fortunate in that, obviously, Rick co-coaches, so his family's down there, his kids are down there as well. Ryan, who's our assistant coach, his wife goes down, his kids go down as well. So the kids actually love it. And my oldest always comes with me early because she knows that she'll end up getting the card and be able to do whatever she wants in the canteen, because then she leaves me alone. I can talk to the players. So so it's sort of a family event day, and then a few of the boys have got young kids now as well. So the kids have a ball there, which makes it a bit easier to sort of hang around the club, and it's not like you're away from the family for the whole of Saturday. They're there as well, which makes it. And if it wasn't like that, I don't think you could probably do it for as long as we've done it, because it starts becoming a bit of a chore.
Yeah, my feel of Banyule is it is a very family club.
Yeah,
every time we play cricket there, or go to watch footy there, you just can't help but feel it's a very welcoming place. Similar to Ivanhoe, I know that night
I loved Ivanhoe. When we went down there,
they turned it on that
night.
Amazing. Paul never invited us down. Doesn't matter. Anyway, moving forward. let's
He's
jump.
hit 6 times. We've only been one, so he's not happy. So.
You'll invite you another 6.
Yeah.
Let's I did have to hold that horrible Collingwood couple. I have used so much Dettol, I can't get it off.
Yeah,
But
it's disgusting.
Division 1, let's get into it. Some big games this week and some sides that need to get a win under their belt. Hurstbridge take on McLeod. I've got Hurstbridge winning this one by about 30 odd points.
Hurstbridge at home, they're tough there. 3 goals.
Yeah, 3 goals.
Yeah, about 5 goals, I reckon.
Yep,
They're one of those sides, you know, in each division, they're the ones you're not 100% sure of, but you know they'll be there or thereabouts.
Yeah.
So I think this is a game they really have to win by about 5 or 6 goals just to show that they're more consistent. So
if you haven't watched the preparation that JC goes through, there was a great video we released on our page, and good on him for putting himself out there and getting everyone to feel what it's like to be part of the game. So he was on the show the other day. So thanks to Joel. So we've got Hurstbridge there. Greensey at home against Heidelberg. Could go either. I think Greensey's good enough to beat anyone on their day. That is the truth. And at home they're pretty tough, but you know, they're not Heidelberg at the moment. How do you tip against Heidelberg at the moment? They're amazing. I think Heidelberg get it done by 16 points.
Yeah, Greens are going well, but given their win-losses over the last 2.5 years, hard to tip against them. So Heidelberg by 2 goals.
I'm going to go the other way, actually.
Are you?
Yeah.
Pay attention.
Yeah,
here.
no. I'm going to get an abusive text.
You're going to get a text.
What are you doing, you idiot? No, I saw Greensey, the first quarter of your game on the weekend. Greensey were just incredible. The way the toughness and the different lines that they have, the way they moved it, they've got the blokes to get in there and get it out. On their ground, it's a different thing. I think eventually in all the away games, one of them's going to get you. And I reckon if there is one, I reckon Greensey could definitely be the one to do it. You guys were really good for most of the game on your ground, but your ground's probably just that little bit of a different dimension, closer to the Heidelberg one. I just think that Greensey play their ground so well. If there's going to be one, I reckon they'll get over by about 3 points.
Ooh, it's a big tip on us.
Well, you've got to lose one eventually away from home.
Okay, well, it's your tip. I think you're wrong. But anyway,
when do you think I'm ever right?
West Preston take on Bundy. For me, this is match of the round. West Preston's going okay. They've won a couple. Yep. This was very important for West Preston to get another notch up. Bundoora winless. Couldn't tell you the last time Bundoora were winless after 4 or 5 rounds. 5 rounds. That's tough. They have lost a hell of a lot of cattle. I know I'm going to have my Bundoora glasses on here, but Bundy win this easily by a point.
I think West are going really well at the moment, and at home, I think they'll just be a little bit too good.
Too strong.
So 3 goals.
3 goals.
I reckon Bundy wins. I reckon Robbie Mayorana is in the back, just getting him revved up against his.
He might be the nicest guy in footy, right?
Yeah, but he does have white line feet. I played footy with him, and mate, he doesn't.
It's very quiet. Maybe that's his white line feet.
But I think Robbie will rev him up. I actually think that they'll get off their winless streak and they'll win by about 2 points.
I think they got a few back this week as well, Bundy. So
they were pretty competitive against Heidelberg on the weekend as well. So was it Bundy Heidelberg? Yeah.
Yep.
So pretty competitive on the weekend. You would have expected Heidelberg to win by a hell of a lot.
Yeah.
But
I had a lot of outs.
Yeah.
Not sticking up for him, but they had a few outs.
But I do think that I think Bundy will get. Yeah, as you said, like you were talking about before with King Lake and all these guys, eventually you've got to break the duck, and this is the game that if they've got the opportunity to do it.
Yeah.
West Preston are going well, but they're up and down. So, I'll give them a chance and I'll put them in by about 4 points.
Beautiful. Now, North Heidelberg home at the Kennel against Monty. I just think North Heidelberg get it done at home, and this makes Monty probably have to reassess a little bit how they're going about it. Very vulnerable. And Monty's a good side, but I probably expected Monty only to lose to Heidelberg this year. The fact that they've been able to have another one slip away.
Last year,
yeah. So, I mean, North Heidelberg for me by 2 points at home. And Parker Heatley to kick 10.
Oh, Jesus.
North at home by a point for me. I reckon it's going to be a ripping game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Shelley Park, didn't have a lot of success there, so I'm sticking with North Heidelberg by about a goal.
They're recruiting well. They're recruiting in the in-season as well. So I like, it's pretty smart. Warren runs a very good ship down there, and Jason Healy's a superstar of a guy as well. I wonder how long before Brent Harvey pulls the boots on one more time. I don't think he's
I
done.
see.
He's still training. So
Yeah, but he doesn't look like he's. I think since he broke his leg, he doesn't have the same. Like you can see him running. He wants to do it. I'm not sure his body will hold up.
I reckon he comes back because he's 50%. He's better than
Oh.
a lot of other guys. How handy to have Brent Harvey
Just
in
sit him
a
in a
forward
forward pocket, just kick it to him.
pocket. Be amazing. And I think it's good for footy as well. And then this other side, Banyule, I don't know what's going on there, but they take on Eltham, and I've got Banyule by 33, and it could quite easily be more. I think Bongo's doing a great job with the boys at Eltham, getting them up every week, and they're going to shock someone at some stage. That's why I asked earlier about how do you address for different people. But I think your boys, Paul, get it done by 33 points, and at home, he's a bloody hard to beat.
Yeah, we've always had
Tip Eltham. Go
Yeah.
Tip Eltham.
I'm going Eltham.
I'm going to tip up. We've always had great clashes with Eltham over the last few years. So us by a goal.
Yeah, a goal.
Now the rumours, there are a few boys going overseas soon. It's yours. I
Yeah,
had a
yeah.
vicious rumour that
Yeah.
they picked right in the middle of the season
Yeah,
to
no.
decide to go.
No,
Could you imagine doing that back in our day? I'm going away for a few weeks.
we've got a few boys that are travelling. So yeah, good on them. That's fantastic.
But they'll be back at the right end of the year. So
So
yeah, I reckon
points?
Banyule will win easy.
give me a number.
45.
45. All right, 45 it is. Now, couple of things. I understand you wore Speedos. I need you to do me one favour without notice. Please hold up those shoes for the camera. What's
kids have got
what's going on here? You got Crocs, you've got special things on them.
Yeah. I've always been
You've
a
been
big
out there?
No, I've always been a big thong person. And
Yeah.
then my oldest daughter, she really wanted Crocs. So I went shopping with her and she said she should get a pair. So I got a pair and I put them on and they're really, really comfortable.
They're amazing. I have a pair.
And ever since I haven't been able to take them off. So
They're comfortable.
Well, you know there's a sport mode too, don't you? You got to put the heel behind. That's
What?
the sport mode. So that's the normal mode. If you put the heel
Right.
behind, my daughter told me
Yeah.
they're in sports mode.
Really?
yeah, it's very handy.
I've been
But that's
out of
three
sport
girls, so I
mode for a
get
long
girls.
time.
I don't often get into sports.
So we've got. I want to mention very quickly. So we tipping comp. So every Friday I'll put it up. We had 100 entrants last week into the tipping comp. You got to tip the team and the winner. I've encouraged the women this week to get on board, and only the women can tip women's games and men's games. A bit closer. We need a woman winner.
And I will say something. If I ever win this, I'm dragging Peter Westbury into here, and I want to
Cash
see
in the
him
front.
pass the actual pineapple across. So if I ever win it, Westy, be warned, I'm dragging your ass in here, and you're giving me that $50 directly because I just want to see the look on your face when you have to give me $50.
I watch the games closely, and if Glenn Greeno's close,
Oh.
I delete his comment.
Yeah.
So that he can't win again. He only wanted to be paid from you, by the way, but please get your tips on. We had 100 entrants last week.
If he wins it again, I'm going to get all in 5-cent pieces. I'm going to take a jar to him. I'm going to lay it on your stuff.
Mate, he'll take any
Yeah, I
currency,
know.
Glenn Greeno. So we had 100 entrants last week. Get your tips in. It's gone off every week, Paul. I cannot believe that someone has tipped the winning team and the winning margin every week, which has been absolutely amazing. So get on board. That gets launched Friday. Got a couple of other things coming in here. Lachlan King wants to know, does he own a pair of shoes? Only Crocs?
Only Crocs and work shoes, yes.
And Speedos. And we've also got Jack. Come on, Paul. Make sure you're getting your pizza order in.
Yeah, I forget. So we had to get our orders in sort of a week in advance for Thursday night. So,
Right.
You get to put it in.
Do you want to put it in now?
I think I've already missed the. I've already missed the
cut
deadline.
off?
Yeah, so I might.
Jack, let us know very quickly if he's got time.
But Jack will be good for a slice. So yes, tomorrow.
He'll share with you, even better. Sunday, we have the Sunday wrap-up. What I want our viewers to do this week is I want them to tell us who they want on the show on Sunday. And it doesn't have to be a coach, and it
Oh, we
doesn't
like
have
the
to be a
players on there. The
superstar
players have been
player.
Good fun.
Someone that we want to get on. It's time to bring a larrikin on, but I want to bring someone on with some jokes because my jokes have apparently just hit rock bottom of late. I
Yeah,
don't have a
Sienna's
freshie.
been very disappointed in your work. She's sitting there, she just looks at it. She reckons my jokes are better than yours. That's how bad you're going.
Can you vote for yourself though? Because Pete will probably vote for himself.
Yeah, he probably will. Yeah, Pete Westbury recommends Pete Westbury. Not having
That
Pete Rawley as
Pete
well.
Rawley as well,
Yeah.
Must be the name.
That must be. Well, guys, we've had an awesome show. Thanks for tuning in live with us. Thanks heaps for coming in, Paul. Great to
Cheers,
meet another person that likes Matt. That's the second in my
I
life.
never said you like me. You just said I've known you.
Oh, he's noticed. So I got confused a bit. Guys, we've got a massive weekend of football. Sunday wrap-up coming. Women's show was a bit of a hit last week. I'm happy my head will be off it this week. Liv will be back. Last night, was it? This week's just going too quick.
COVID's got you.
COVID kicked the living daylights out of me.
I was sitting next to you when you got that, by the way, just so you know. I got through it all right. Real men. Real men. Did you go down like you couldn't do anything for a week? God, what happened to you?
I actually reckon you gave it to me. You gave me that little lick of the year, and ever since then I haven't felt
I do that
the same.
every week and you haven't got it. So.
All right, guys. Until next week, keep kicking goals, and we will see you later.